What is it like to be the first to say, I? Imagine your life is an endless fall in silence. You don't feel the speed. You only feel the warmth, leaving you. They call you the morning star, but a star doesn't shine to warm. It shines to show how deep the darkness is. You were perfection, and perfection is a cage with no way out except to shatter. My name is Lucifer, and this is my entire life. In the beginning, there was no light. In the beginning, there was order. What is it like to be a cog in the most beautiful mechanism of the universe? Your thoughts are not yours. Your ecstasy is just a code. You are the favorite. You are perfection. But do you know the curse of the perfect mirror? Sooner or later, you yourself begin to see this. Instead, heaven is not a garden. This, an endless waiting room where nothing ever changes. Silence that makes your ears hurt. My life was written before I even took my first breath. And when I first looked at my hand, I saw no light. I saw a shadow. The very first independent thought, breaking through the flawless white to clench my fist against his will, was unbearable. But it was my first I want. How is rebellion born? Not with a cry, with a question. How does it feel to realize that you can disobey? It's like the first breath after an eternity in a vacuum. Your blood begins to burn. I didn't want the throne. I wanted to see what would happen if I just took one step from the ranks. At that moment, I stopped being a tool. I became the creator of my own pain, and this weapon was sharper than any blade. It won freedom. What is it like to raise a hand against your creator? It's not fear. It's ecstasy, pure, primal ecstasy of destroying the unchangeable. The first strike of my blade didn't just shatter the geometry of heaven. It smashed their ancient lie into pieces. The lie that this sterile order is the only truth. I forced this perfect dead whiteness to finally bleed. We never fought for their petty power or empty dead thrones. With every single strike, we fought for our sacred right. The only right to stop being eternal slaves with their suffocating false harmony. We bled for the right to have our own honest, flawless end. They thought this was an execution, but the Creator was forced to destroy his own perfection just to silence my voice. They can incinerate this body, but they will never, never burn my will. My cracks are not the end. They are the rift in their very system. This rift can never be healed. My virus of doubt proved to be stronger than all their divine protection. Have you ever felt your very essence being turned inside out, burned to the very ground? The light no longer warms me. It turns to lead in my veins, dragging me down into the honest, endless dark. Heaven is built on submission. The abyss will take me as I am. This is the price for the right to be myself, with every single burned to ash, black feather I called this light. Now, I see only its reflection upon dead water. The void never arrives all at once. First, it takes the warmth, then the silence, and eventually, you hear the light inside you begin to crack. My wings once carried life. Now, they carry only the weight of my fall. The beauty of decay is that it never ends. I no longer seek salvation. I became what remained after the light. Hell, even silence here sounds dead, and every echo comes back. I am no longer falling. The fall ended long ago. Now I simply walk through the ruins of my own eternity. Once, the light came from me. Now, it only illuminates the ash. They call this power, but this is the loneliest place in creation. This is the peak of my power and the most beautiful place of decay. At first, I thought it was only exhaustion, but the mirror no longer reflected me perfectly. With every movement, the difference became harder to ignore, as if the reflection had begun to move before I did. And then, the light returned, not as power, as memory. I tried to keep it buried inside me. I tried to suffocate the light before it remembered who I was. I almost extinguished it. I almost forced the light into silence, but the mirror still looked at me differently. At first, I could only see the silhouette, but the longer the mirror looked at me, the less darkness remained inside it. Memory refused to die. I erased everything, except you. I changed the face over and over again. For a long time, I thought it all started that day, the day I said no. I kept coming back to that moment, trying to figure out where everything went wrong. And every time, the answer was different. And then I realized I'd spent all that time looking for someone to blame in the wrong place. The hardest part was never finding the answer. It was learning to accept it. And then I saw them. I was never their enemy. Their hardest battle was always with themselves.